Hello, happy Frequency and Flow Friday. This space is devoted to helping you raise your frequency so you can live in optimal flow and abundance. And we are after a pretty crazy fiery Aries eclipse and so much shifting. We are in we're in a phase of approaching a first quarter moon in Cancer. So it's a little bit softer. It's some gentler energy. And I do think that this month is going to tend to be a more gentle energy. So think about the week that you just had. Think about the week moving forward. How can you shift your vibration, raise your frequency? Maybe I am going to see you in Mexico this next week. If you are traveling with me, I will see you there. And if not, perhaps you want to lean into the North Star Soul Retreat that's coming up in September. You can also go to GinaNicole.net and check out the retreat page. All of the details are there. So if you're choosing position number 1, you get flowers and incense, but it did come in upside down. So tune into that. I think ultimately this position feels really good. Things look very good. Things feel bold. I would say, have some patience. It takes time to create a flower essence from what it is, but how can you delight with nature? So in terms of raising your frequency, how can you use maybe some essential oils, maybe in your house, because it is first quarter moon in Cancer. I love to have a diffuser, so maybe raise your frequency there. Also bringing nature in, pictures of nature, actual flowers. So think about how you can raise your frequency of your home, your office, your space this weekend, and tune into that. Bringing nature into the home is always really helpful for raising frequency. I don't love plants in the bedroom. They tend to bring a different vibration there. I actually have a whole article on that if you care to read that. But how can you bring nature in? And I would also think long term, maybe it's going to be, there's turkeys on the road right now. You laugh thinking about bringing turkeys in your home. But how can you bring nature in long term? So, flowers are always lovely and beautiful, but then they die. But can you do like some plants to oxygenate and things like that? Good areas for plants are middle left and top right left from your front door. So you can think about that. Bring nature in and use essential oils. Bottom of the feet is always great. If you're choosing position number 2, what do you want to happen? Think about that. Feng Shui would be really good for you to do. And you get sight, but also this comes upside down. So what are you not looking at? So I would say, in Feng Shui, there's something called the first sight rule. This has been up in a little bit. So the first sight rule is thinking about zooming in. There we go. That was interesting because it's sight. What do you see when you first walk in your space? And whatever that is, this space is almost like an actionable vision board. So if you were a magician and you could think about anything and actualize that and create it, what would that be, right? And the idea with the first sight rule is that whatever is there is actually landing at first sight. Whatever you're looking at all day, when you walk in and you see something at first sight, that is going to plant a seed. So people ask all the time, well, what if I'm walking in through my garage or through a side door? Do both, but energy always starts at the front door. So I would say no matter what in terms of Feng Shui, also pay attention to what do you see at the front door, because that really matters. But think about that too. Spend some time this weekend about what you're actually really wanting. What do you want to actualize? And when you walk into a space, an office, a room, does it match that vision, or is it like a cluttery space, or is it something that snags you, right? So yeah, it's Feng Shui heavy this week because first moon in Cancer, there's a lot of like homey topics and things. So we're taking action in our home. And then finally, if you're choosing position number 3 as a card today, you get yin and yang. It did come in upside down, but then I was really nudged to flip it. Time. There we go. So yin and yang, this is all about balance. I would say if you're choosing this position, your home actually feels pretty good and pretty high vibe, but I would say lean into, what is it, especially recently with these eclipses, look at balancing. Yin and yang is all about light and dark. And as it says on the card, the shadow illuminates the light, and it is within the light that we're actually able to see the shadow. So yes, tune in to balance in your home, but I also want you to think about your light. If you're choosing this position and you're nudged at all to the North Star Soul Retreat, check it out. There's 2 spaces left at the time of this recording with some inquiries. But how do we shine our light forward, right? Accessing the true North Star light that is beyond us. And so if you're choosing this position, I want you to pay attention to the balance in your home. If you know about feng shui, there's certain rooms that are meant to be more yang, like the kitchen, right? That's very active. And then there's certain rooms that are meant to be more yin, like a bedroom, which is sleeping. So kind of tune into those spaces. Is my home balanced and is my life balanced? But also in particular, I'm going to ask and invite you to go into the relationship sector of your home from your front door. That is the back right area of the home, the back right corner. And is that balanced? Does it feel good? What snags you or doesn't snag you? I would invite you to really lean into that and start to firstly, see what room it is. Should it be darker or brighter, right? Again, if it's something like a living area, it's a little brighter. If it's something like a bedroom, that needs to be more yin, right? It needs to be more yin energy. Or like a living room that you want to be more meditative and maybe for more evening, does that need to be more yin? So tune into that. But go toward relationship and think about the relationship with yourself and your cells and what you're doing, in relation to help your true North Star light shine forward. That's what we're doing in September. Okay, I'm sending you so much love. Have a really beautiful, actionable first quarter moon. Ciao.